Hi, I'm with David Hobbs, the Director of Security Solutions with Radware. And David, a couple of questions regarding the Internet of Things for you. Um, we found that it stands to disrupt endpoint security, among other things. And how do you determine what to manage first, people or things?
Well, the Internet of Things is kind of a very complex problem. Um, Endpoint security, traditional endpoint security, doesn't necessarily deal with the Internet of Things. And there really are no vendors for Internet of Things security. Behavior anomalies on the wire are going to be the only way that people are going to be able to pick this up, that a thing has been compromised in their network. So people, you can try to manage people. However, we found that, that doesn't necessarily work. Um, you can put policies in place and you can say, well, don't bring your things with you, but you can't tell people not to bring a mobile. You can't tell them not to bring a toy or whatever that has an internet connectivity to it or Wi-Fi. The Internet of Things is definitely going to make it much more complicated, because as things in people's houses are getting hacked and the Internet of Things are coming, the perimeter of networks is gone. So internal, external, it tends to make the problem land on network administrators' lap, whether the Coke machine that connects to the internet gets hacked is going to be a problem as well. So people have to take a serious look at what is connecting to their network. Can that thing be compromised? Can the printer be compromised? Do you have the controls in place to manage it? And do you have contractors coming in that are bringing devices to talk on your network to add more functionality? And
So let me ask you, just to follow up on devices. Is there a type of device that's more susceptible than others? And should we be looking out more at laptops, at tablets, or smartphones, or something that we're not even aware of?
well, mobile device management has been trying to skim the surface of what's been going on for the last 5 years. Everybody's been talking about mobile device management, so smartphones, tablets. I think people are starting to get a handle on that. However, as the new things are popping up, we're seeing new exploit surfaces. The fryers at fast food restaurants are connecting to the internet, and there's vulnerabilities at the microwaves and the fryers and all the other devices. If you were to think about worst case scenarios, the radiation emitting devices that they use for passenger screening, those have internet connections on them. Do people actually look to see, is this connected in? Did somebody put a poisoned USB stick into it? As we saw the irresponsible use of somebody playing with an airplane's controls by logging into their boxes into those entertainment systems, we have a very large surface area that has not really been fully explored yet.
And I know you guys have done some research into just statistics and numbers of devices that are connected to the internet. Can you recall some of those at this time?
Well, according to IDC, they say that we'll have 212 billion things connecting to the internet by 2020. Um, I know that we're somewhere in probably the 30 to 40 billion device range, and it grows every day. The number of devices is growing every day so fast that I think IDC might be right. By 2020, we'll have 212 billion things connected.
So, how would you enforce, or is there even a way to enforce compliance, inside an enterprise in regards to devices, vendors, everything that you've mentioned?
Um, it's a complex problem. You have to really look at a new ecosystem and a new way of layering across all environments. We no longer have just a hosted environment. We no longer have just an enterprise. We're consuming from the cloud. We're hosting applications. When we stop thinking about infrastructure and start looking at it from an applications layer, where do those applications live? How do they live? Who's in control of them? Are you in control of them? Are you not in control? And the answer is, once you start to determine where are your applications, what are you doing to protect them? How do you have an ecosystem that can talk across all environments everywhere that your applications live? That's really kind of the forward thinking, thought process that people have to adopt if they want to survive in, the next generation of threat landscape.